You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal, and it's a full house today, but full house as in I'm in this room, and we have everyone else over Skype, as is per usual during everything that's going on. So we do hope everyone is staying safe and doing all right. But let's introduce Matt first. How are you doing, Matt?
I am doing fantastic.
I think what we're going to do is ship you one of the Mayor Lori Lightfoot cardboard standouts that they have here in Chicago, and you can put it in front of the store.
Yeah, I'll put a popular coffee chain apron on her, just so everyone knows she's working for the right team.
There you go. If you guys aren't familiar, just look up Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot coronavirus meme. It's pretty fun.
They're all amazing.
So good.
They're great, especially in this neighborhood. There's a million of them in people's windows. That was Jeff's voice you heard. How are you doing, Jeff?
You got it, dude. I'm doing pretty well. Yes, I'm. Yes, the Full House reference for Matt. I'm not enjoying quarantine as much as I thought I would, but otherwise I'm pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, it is a really subpar remake of Wreck, the foreign film, but it's okay. Ken, how are you doing?
Well, it's been probably about a month and 10 days for me in social isolation. I just got some more good news. They canceled WrestleMania, but I found out they brought it back in the apartment above mine because whatever they're doing up there is creating some serious noise. So I have that to enjoy as well.
Well, that's good. It sounds like Drew McIntyre must be up there with Brock Lesnar shirtless going at it, right, Matt?
Yeah, or in 9 months, you'll have a different sound that's going to annoy you every night. The baby's crying.
Yeah, right. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm doing all right. Mostly my days are either Jim Carrey at the beginning of Truman Show or Jim Carrey at the end of Truman Show. It just depends how the day goes. So that's where I'm at right now.
Who are you talking to, Neal?
There's
nobody there.
Ovaltine. But we have a very, very special guest here today. She's going to be hosting our game. She's an Intercontinental Champion on Patreon. She is from Philadelphia, and that is Tamara O'Brien. How's it going, Tamara?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We've had a bunch of different email chains back and forth. One thing I thought was really fun is you told us that you went to a spaghetti dinner, I believe, with your son. It was a trivia event. He kind of helped you out because he listens to the show as well. Is that right?
Yes, it was a fundraiser for our school, and there was a couple rounds of trivia, and he completely carried the team through the Mario round. So I think we ended up winning, but it was very much a team effort.
That's wonderful.
There was a whole Mario round.
It was all Mario themed.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Mario Andretti. I know a bunch about him.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a race car driver.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into trivia?
Sure. So originally from Virginia, but have been living in Philly for the past decade plus. I'm an actuary, and most people think that means I can tell them when they're going to die. That's not actually true, but I do work with mortality tables.
That was my follow-up question, so I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I could tell you very specifically when you're going to die, Matt.
Okay, just save it. It'll be on the Patreon bonus.
There you go. I just feel like I've been a lifelong trivia fan. I was that little kid who was watching Jeopardy when they were 10 years old and, trying to pull my parents into the game. I'd pull a notebook out and say, I'm going to keep score for us. And yeah, just have always loved trivia and was happy to find you guys.
Well, we appreciate your support. We did a special recording for you due to your Patreon support, which a lot of you, if you join Patreon at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast, other than bonus content which is, extra episodes or just fun conversations between us. Some of the perks can include a recording, and Tamara chose to have us as her alarm clock. So how's that been working out? Hopefully you've been waking up, I guess.
Yeah, it's amazing. I wanted something completely funny and ridiculous to wake up to. So I would start the day with a smile on my face. And I think I was pretty vague in the instructions, and you guys just knocked it out of the park. It's hilarious, and I appreciate it.
Wonderful. Well, glad we were able to help you out there. Well, today's going to be a 2-on-2 game. I believe I'm going to be partnering with Matt. We don't get a chance to do it too often. And I think it's going to be pretty fun today. And Jeff and Ken are going to team up. Jeff, Ken, team names?
Yeah, so there's one episode of The Office where they go with Team Voldemort just to piss Dwight off, I guess. But I'm more of a Lord of the Rings guy. So I'm reading the Silmarillion right now in my off time. So how about we be Team Morgoth?
Is that to piss Neil off?
I guess so. He's the Voldemort of Lord of the Rings.
Team Morgoth. Well, I have enough goth on my team with Matt, so I'm fine. But I think, Matt, if you don't mind, I think our team, in honor of Tamara and to make fun of Jeff a little bit, we should be Actuary.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
That's really good.
Thank you. Well, let's throw it to the rules guy, and let's see him do his best Philadelphia accent.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
I don't know what a Philadelphia accent sounds like, to be honest.
I don't either. I think that's
whatever the rules guy just said. That was it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Kind of sounded like Kate Blanchett doing the lead into Lord of the Rings, actually.
It's very specific. All right. Well, Tamara, feel free to take it away, and we're ready to play. And that rhymed.
We did have I believe we had a wager on this game, though.
Matt, you're right. You came up with it, Matt. So what is our wager today?
Yeah, well, I know Neil's been on the TikTok quite a bit lately. It's been his quarantine time-passing activity. So the loser of this is going to learn one of those TikTok dances and record it. So we're going to be posting that on Patreon first, and I believe we'll post that in the crop after some time. So that's what's at stake here. So we'll see how this goes.
And for the record, Jeff did say if Judi Dench can do it, I can do it. So everyone's in agreement.
Okay, so yeah, I wrote a game inspired by quarantine because 2020. So I hope everyone is doing all right out there. And we'll just get started with number 1. So question 1, make it a double. With bars and restaurants closed, people are becoming amateur bartenders and mixing up cocktails at home. Stay steady on your feet and tell me what drink you'll get if you mix 1.5 ounces of vodka, 4 ounces of orange juice, half an ounce Galliano, and garnish with an orange slice and cherry.
Okay, so I have an idea on this one, Jeff, so we're going to lock in.
So we're trying to get to the clue. I'm not sure. The only orange juice based drinks I can think of are the Screwdriver, which is just vodka and orange juice, right?
Yep.
And then the Wall Banger, which I think has those other things in it, but maybe not.
I'm kind of good with Wall Banger. I mean, if that was your... I guess if that's what you did.
Oh, or maybe isn't
a sidecar?
Harvey Wallbanger or something.
Harvey Wallbanger is the name of it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just go Harvey Wallbanger.
And we are going to go with the guess of Fuzzy Navel.
Okay. So points to Matt and Neal. It's a Harvey Wallbanger. Ooh. And the clue is to stay steady on your feet so you don't go banging into the walls.
Oh, okay.
I thought that too, and I was like, it kind of works, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, I detected a little
bit of a
hint there, but I couldn't pick up on it.
Oh, Harvey Wallbangers, what's going on above Ken in the apartment upstairs?
Yeah.
Moving on to question number 2. Come and play a game with me. Stuck at home, many people are dusting off their card games and having a few rounds of fun with friends and family, perhaps so as not to strangle them. Name this card game, originally released in 2011, whose creators were also responsible for annual Black Friday stunts, which have included the holiday hole and mailing boxes of actual
I got it.
Yeah, I'm good. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So Matt and I were looking at each other. I shouldn't say we're looking at each other because it's impossible right now. But we both said Cards Against Humanity at the same time. They have a theater here in Chicago. I think they're based in Chicago. I'm not sure. But we enjoy that game. So that's what we're going to lock in with.
Yep. Cards Against Humanity seems about the right timeline. And I've heard of those gags. So Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, points all around. Cards Against Humanity. And I believe they are from Chicago.
Are they? Okay, good.
Okay, number 3, Hold the Virus. Hold the Virus is what every dad ever will say from now on when they're ordering a Corona beer. While Corona is famously produced in Mexico, it's owned by what European parent company?
I think we can lock in with that answer.
Sounds good.
Can I know it's imported by Anheuser-Busch, but I don't. That's not European.
Is it maybe Stella Artois?
It could be. I mean, I've got nothing better. Either that, I don't know if Heineken owns them. I'm not sure.
Ooh, maybe let's guess Heineken.
Well, we were on the same page there, and we also thought it was Heineken.
Okay, so it is owned by Anheuser-Busch InBev, and they are based in Belgium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there was a rumor going around that Corona sales dropped in light of the virus with this implication that it had to do with the association of the name, but their sales did drop, but it's just because people can't go out anymore to bars and venues. All right, so number 4, silver linings. All of the social distancing and working from home is having a positive impact on the environment by reducing emissions and improving air quality, though it's clearly not what those who supported the Clean Air Act would ever have intended to achieve the results. What I'd like to know is who signed the Clean Air Act into law?
All right, so it seems that Jeff has a guess, so we're going to lock in with his guess.
Okay, so Matt originally wrote Roosevelt, Taft, and Andrew Jackson. No, that's not right.
I did not.
You said Clinton and Bush.
I feel like that was the era when like the EPA regulations were hitting the factories, and we started seeing changes in automobiles and the amount of exhaust that they can have as far as like new cars produced in that like 90 or maybe it's closer to Bush, because Hummers and stuff were still pushing out a ton of that stuff in the early 2000s.
Are we talking about Bush Jr. or Senior?
Yeah, Junior.
Junior. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would think it'd be pretty recent, because I feel like that's something that more people are getting behind each year, and I could see that not really only happening 20 years ago. So
yes, I'm between those two. Do you have a preference?
No, I'll lean towards your gut. I mean, it's been right so far. So you want to just go for Bush Jr.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bush Jr.
Okay, so I think Richard Nixon started the EPA, so we guessed Nixon.
Okay, so no points on this one. There were amendments in the 70s and the 90s, but the original Clean Air Act was passed by LBJ in 1963. So I was very surprised when I looked this up, how early it was.
I was only off by 40 years, so close.
Wow.
Okay, question 5, Lonely Island. And this is a listener-submitted question from my Uncle Kevin. Part of me thinks it might be easier to maintain social distancing if I were on my own island. While I won't be able to make this happen, you can answer this question about islands. Name 2 of the largest 3 islands on Earth, not including continental land masses. So you have 3 guesses, but you only have to name 2 of the largest islands.
Okay. So then are you guys locked in, or are you still thinking about it?
No, we're good.
Okay. So pretty sure Greenland's one of them, right? And then what are some of the others? So probably the Philippines, maybe Thailand.
Well, I know I wrote a question about Thailand's largest island, which is Phuket, but I don't know if that one is larger than any other type of islands.
Maybe New Zealand. I think New Zealand and Greenland is a good guess for 2 out of the 3, and I guess we get a third one.
Yeah.
So we can throw in.
Maybe just say Cuba, just for the heck of it.
Yeah, fine. We'll throw in Cuba as our third.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I know the top like 5-ish. I know Greenland is the largest. I think 2 is New Guinea, and then 3 is Borneo, if I'm not mistaken, because it's all in that like Indonesia, Papua New Guinea area.
Okay. Yeah, spot on for Morgoth. Greenland, New Guinea, and Borneo. Even had them in order.
Oh, boy. After 5 questions, it is 20-20.
Okay, number 6, binge-worthy. Quarantine might be the perfect time to snuggle up on the couch and devour some binge-worthy content. According to Nielsen, the top-rated acquired show on Netflix for the week of March 2nd, 2020, is The Office. This show is appropriately ranked second as it stars castmates from SCTV. Name this show.
We can lock in over here at Actuary.
All right, so what is SCTV?
It was a TV show that ran in, I don't know, like the early 80s. It was like a comedy show, like a Canadian comedy show. Like the only person I know was on it was, I know Rick Moranis was on it for a little bit.
Oh, I'm not familiar with the show. So what we're looking for is older Canadians, huh?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, what about Schitt's Creek?
Oh, I like that. Yeah, because Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, that would be about right. Yeah.
Okay. Schitt's Creek.
Yep. SCTV was Second City TV, based off of Toronto's Second City troupe, which had Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy from Schitt's Creek.
And now that we started talking about it, all the puzzle pieces dropped into place, and I did actually hear a interview with Catherine O'Hara where she was talking about this.
That was a great pull. Yes, it is Schitt's Creek. So points all around.
I feel like it was a show my dad watched when I was a kid, like reruns.
Yeah, that seems likely, knowing your dad.
I love Schitt's Creek. We just finished the finale, the series finale, which was very good. So great show.
Okay, number 7, food delivery. Another part of the new normal is food delivery services, which are helping immunocompromised or other at-risk individuals stay at home while still checking off their grocery lists or enjoying their favorite takeout. Meals on Wheels can be considered one of the OG delivery services. The first Meals on Wheels deliveries were made in the UK in the early 1940s, 40 to 41, in fact, during what World War II event?
Oh, I've got an idea, Ken.
Well, you said in the UK, right? So 1940, 1941-ish. So it's not a specific date. So it's not like D-Day or something like that.
So if she's saying World War II event, maybe is it like a specific battle, like the
like Operation Normandy or
no? What's the one with Churchill when they were bombing London? Oh man, there's a specific name. It's when they had it was the Blitzkrieg by the Germans.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the one where they bombed London, and in Doctor Who they had the gas masks on, and it was that whole episode. I can't remember the name of it. So
with the mustard gas, is that kind of like what they did
for that episode? I don't. You just want to say the first bombing of London, maybe that's specific enough.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. We're pretty sure this is the Battle of London, or the Blitz, as they commonly referred to it.
Yeah, points all around. I would have accepted the Blitz or just the bombing of London. Obviously, this arose a need for people to have food delivered to them, and the early deliveries were actually made with prams, and they would use straw bales to kind of insulate the food and keep it warm. So great job, both teams.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, next, number 8, a diminutive question. If you've been consuming a lot of news content, you've likely heard that corona comes from the Latin word for crown, and it lends its name to the coronavirus for the crown-like spikes on its structure. What word, which is also the name of the best-selling car of all time worldwide, comes from the Latin for little crown?
I think I've got it, Ken.
Well, at first I was thinking Mini, but I don't think that's it. I think the best-selling car of all time is the Volkswagen Bug, but
well, so if Corona is Latin for crown, right, and we're looking for little crown, maybe it's Accord.
Oh,
they have similar. If similar letters.
The Honda Accord.
Yeah, does that sound right?
It's better than I can think of. I'm just trying to. I guess the Honda Accord might be the highest selling. Camry, Toyota Camry. No,
I don't think so.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you want to go Honda Accord?
Yeah, we're gonna lock in with that.
Yeah, we think it is a Japanese car. And we think it is a Toyota. We're guessing the Corolla.
Oh, man.
All right. Points to Jeff and Ken. It was the Corolla. It was introduced in 1966. About 50 million of them have been sold, and it beats out the Volkswagen Beetle and the Model T as the other top-ranked selling cars.
How do we get to Camry and not go to Corolla?
I know.
We should stop.
So
we're done.
Okay, number 9. Since we no longer have face-to-face interactions with family and friends, emojis can be a good way to communicate expressions and gestures. According to Emojipedia, of the newly released emojis in 2020, this one is the most popular on social media. I could see someone using this to say, "Ma che vuoi?" And apologies to all of your Italian listeners. I did my best with that.
Look at my emojis right now.
And I'm trying to. I don't think I have the newer ones.
I don't either.
I don't even know what they added, to be honest.
There is an emoji that has like a face mask.
I've seen that.
And there's also the one that people use for hand washing and for other things you would do in quarantine with the water drip, the 3 drips. And I've seen that one a lot on social media.
Or no, what about the I don't even know what you call it. When people do a really bad impression of
the Italian fingers.
The Italian fingers.
I know what you're getting at. I don't think there's an emoji for that.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking of, because I know I saw one on this pizza place. Or I guess that's their regular logo, but recently they just used that as their new logo.
Well, eggplant parmesan is very popular with the Italians.
Okay, we can go.
And it's a pretty popular emoji.
I thought the eggplant's been around for a while because I've been known to send a few eggplants. If you know what I mean.
No, you haven't. It is a popular and older emoji.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, let's just go eggplant, because why not?
All right,
that's 2 eggplants.
Okay, and if Neal were playing by himself, he would get points. It's called the pinched fingers or the Italian hand. And "ma che vuoi" translates to like, "what the hell are you saying?" Oh. So Italians
I had
everywhere.
No idea.
Yeah, it just came out in 2020. I don't even have them on my phone either, but there was a buzz on social media, and New Jersey's official Twitter account simply tweeted, "endorsed."
That's funny. Ken, isn't that your favorite actor from Split, James? What the hell are you saying?
Yeah, right.
Okay, last question of the round. Number 10. A place for everything and everything in its place. With all this extra time at home, you might as well do some early and extended spring cleaning. What Japanese organizing consultant took the world by storm? First, with her 2011 book, which was released in the US in 2014, then with her 2019 Netflix show. Then take a step backwards, and for 2 bonus points, give me the name of her organizational method.
We can lock in over here.
I was just saying, should be good, Ken, since we tried to watch this together, and it did not spark joy.
Well, it did not spark joy, actually, in me. I was really surprised. Do you know the name of the organizational method, Jeff?
I don't know offhand. Or something you might.
So we'll just take the regular points with Marie Kondo, and the organizational method is the 3-step joy process.
Yeah, Matt and I knew this one right away, Marie Kondo, and I believe the technique is KonMari.
Okay, yeah, points all around, and the bonus to Matt and Neal. So her technique is kind of like her name, but like flipped backwards, KonMari.
Yeah. Was that 1 bonus point?
2.
Oh, 2. Nice. Okay.
That could be all the difference, though.
After the first round, it is 52 points for Actuary and 60 points for Team Morgoth. Now, before we get to the swing round, Tamara, we did talk a little bit about your son helping you out at trivia, but you also got a little bit of help from some of your friends in the crop with today's questions. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely grateful to Ryan Burrows and Savannah Campbell. They both gave the quiz a review and gave me some great feedback, so appreciate that.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. And what do you have in store for us today for the swing round?
Okay, so hopefully we're all listening to doctor's orders and staying home and minimizing contact with others, and of course, washing our hands. Let's see how well you listen to these fictional doctors. I have quotes from doctors in TV or film, or from real people who we just call doctor or doc, but they do not have a medical degree. I don't have a word for that,
that's
I'm
called
calling
a
them
Jeff.
fictional doctors.
Dr. Oz, right? Is it? No. Okay.
He has a medical degree.
Just because he's a bad man doesn't mean his degree should be, his degree should be revoked, but it hasn't been.
All right.
So I will give you the quote, and I will tell you whether it's a real person or whether it's a doctor from film or TV. And you're just going to name the doctor.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, number 1. I have been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes, ever since Honey was wearing Sassoons.
Nice.
That's a real person. Number 2, from film. I make it a rule never to get involved with possessed people. Actually, it's more of a guideline than a rule. Number 3, from TV. The truth is out there, but so are lies. Number 4, this is a real person. I keep both eyes on my man. The basket hasn't moved on me yet. Number 5, from TV. Date, September 22nd, 1989. Kissed my first girl. Lost my first patient. Life will never be the same again. Number 6, from film. You're talking out of your tail feathers. Number 7, a real person. Kid, you'll move mountains. Number 8, from film. I wish we could talk longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Number 9, a real person. If you throw a lot of pitches, before you know it, your arm is gone. And number 10, from TV, never hide behind the fact that you're a woman, and don't give up on your dreams just because you're afraid you can't achieve them in a man's world. You just have to fight even harder to make them come true.
All right, we're going to take a look at these questions and be right back. All the answers are now locked in, and let's hear those questions one more time, Tamara, and we will give our answers.
Okay, great. Number 1, quote from a real person. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes, ever since Honey was wearing Sassoons.
All right, I'll start off with this one at Team Morgoth, and we're going to go with Dr. Dre.
Yeah, this is one that we were 100% definite on and said Dr. Dre.
All right, great. Both teams get points there. Number 2, I make it a rule never to get involved with possessed people. Actually, it's more of a guideline than a rule.
Yeah, we had no idea on this one, so we're going to just go with Dr. Disrespect.
It's a good guess. I believe this is Bill Murray talking to Sigourney Weaver, and we said Dr. Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters.
And that's right, Dr. Peter Venkman. Good job. Number 3, I think that the team zeroed in on the show here. This is TV. The truth is out there, but so are lies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is a reference to Dr. Fox Mulder. So that's what we said.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure if it was Mulder or Scully, but we locked in with Dr. Fox Mulder.
So right show, wrong person. It was Dr. Dana Scully. I think she was more well known as the skeptic between the two of them. Number 4, I keep both eyes on my man. The basket hasn't moved on me yet.
Yep, pretty quickly, I thought this was Dr. J.
Yeah, Matt and I first, for some reason, thought it could be Dr. Ruth, but we quickly we were trying to figure out where the basket came from, and then we quickly moved over to Dr. J.
Right, Julius Irving, Dr. J. Good job, and it was really great to hear you guys get to that point.
Well, I do wonder what Dr. Ruth's jumper looks like. We'll have to figure that out at some point.
All right, number 5. This is from TV. Date, September 22nd, 1989. Kissed my first girl, lost my first patient. Life will never be the same again.
Have you met Doogie Howser? So we said Dr. Doogie Howser.
Yeah. One of my favorite shows as a kid, Doogie Howser, MD.
That's right. That was one of those great journal entries on the computer at the end of the show. So points all around. Number 6, from film, you're talking out of your tail feathers.
That seems like a cowboy sort of thing to say, so we're going to say Doc Holliday.
Oh, that's a really good guess. Yeah, we weren't sure. We were all over the board on this one, and we kind of referenced Nellie with Shake Your Tail Feather, and I think that was in Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy, so we locked in with Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, as a doctor who can speak to animals, it was Dr. Dolittle.
All right.
Nice job, Matt.
Oh, man.
Okay, number 7. A little bit of a harder one here. Tried to throw you a curveball. This is a real person, and the quote is, "Kid, you'll move mountains."
Yep, we think that's from All the Places You'll Go. We said Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, but we weren't sure. It sounded kind of like some Dr. Seuss writing, so we said Dr. Seuss.
All right, and I couldn't fool anyone here. It is from Oh, the Places You'll Go. But I chose something that didn't rhyme, and you got it anyway, so great job. Number 8, from film, I wish we could talk longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
That one would be Hannibal Lecter.
We went with the Oscar-winning performance of Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
That's right. Silence of the Lambs. Okay, number 9, a real person. If you throw a lot of pitches, before you know it, your arm is gone.
Just figured we'd throw in a second Neil Patrick Harris reference and say Dr. Horrible because we have no idea.
Yeah, I was trying to think of any famous baseball doctors, and I couldn't come to anything except Roy Halladay was called Doc Halladay at one point, but we went with Tommy John based off the surgery.
All right, so no points on this one. This is Dwight Doc Gooden.
Oh, yeah.
And
there's the doc.
Pitcher.
Yep.
All right, last one in the swing round. Number 10, never hide behind the fact that you're a woman, and don't give up on your dreams just because you're afraid you can't achieve them in a man's world. You just have to fight even harder to make them come true.
We're going to go with Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, we were on the same track. Didn't know her first name, so we just locked in with Dr. Grey.
Though if it's Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, I'm going to be furious.
So, turns out it's a actress from a 90s TV show who shares her name with one of Henry VIII's wives, Jane Seymour.
No.
So it is Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Told you.
As you were reading it, I was like, I wonder if it's Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. I had never even thought of it until
that was a game time decision for me because we wrote both Meredith Grey and Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and I just heard the quote one last time, and I was like, that's got to be one of those Grey's Anatomy voiceovers. Damn.
After the swing round, the game is very, very close. Team Actuary has picked up a very, very slight lead with 87 points, and just right behind them are Team Morgoth with 85. So good swing round there for us, and let's see how we can do in the second round. So feel free to take it away, Tamara.
All right. Question 1, masterclass. This woman could teach a masterclass in social distancing. Before the term existed, this poet of Amherst was practicing daily. She went through periods spanning decades where she rarely left her house. On the plus side, this gave her the time to write beautiful poetry for the world to enjoy.
Oh boy.
I believe we are locked in here.
So poetry, not leaving her house. Was Virginia Woolf, did she leave her house? That's the one Nicole Kidman played, and she won for the Hours, right?
Well, if she didn't, then no one would be afraid of her.
That's true.
She won for the Oscars.
She won for the Oscars. Yeah. Did she leave her house? So the only ones I'm thinking of are Virginia Woolf.
I wasn't watching. I don't know.
Well, she did leave her house. Unfortunately, it was a very depressing ending, but we won't go into it.
Okay.
Virginia Woolf, Emily Dickinson. Those are the two that are on the top of my head. I don't know if Emily Dickinson did not leave her house.
Yeah, like if she had like a meetup she would go to.
Right, like some sort of
I don't know.
Algonquin round table.
Right.
I like
intramural volleyball.
If you have no meat in the game, or what is it? What's the skin in the game? Skin of the game.
I got no skin on that bone.
Yeah, skin on that bone. For some reason I'm thinking Virginia Woolf. She was sort of a recluse for a little bit, so I kind of feel like it might be her.
Like a lone wolf. Yeah, we can lock in. Virginia Woolf locked in.
We locked in pretty quickly with Emily Dickinson.
All right. Points to Morgoth. Emily Dickinson was kind of a famous recluse, and was just reading some of her work as I was looking this up. Hope is the Thing with Feathers, and Because I Could Not Stop for Death are both very beautiful and worth a read.
Sorry, Matt.
Okay, number 2, Take It Easy. Many are turning to music to keep spirits high during quarantine, including this Eagles classic written by Jackson Browne and Glenn Frey. Though the incident inspiring the song actually took place in Flagstaff, this town wisely capitalized on the popular lyric by erecting a statue of a guitar-toting young man on the corner of North Kinsley Avenue and Route 66.
Do you know the song?
Yeah, so, and I feel bad for saying this. I know there's a lot of Eagles fans out there, but I'm not a huge fan of the Eagles. But I do know the song.
My dad played Eagles' greatest hits a lot when I was growing up. The number 1 selling album of all time, right?
I believe so, yeah. Their compilation album or whatever.
All right, we are locked in.
There's a lyric that mentions a city, but I don't remember it.
All right. Well, Matt and I had been tossing around, I should say I tossed around Phoenix because Tamara said...
Well, you asked what the capital was.
Well, I asked what the capital was, yeah. She said they capitalized, so I thought maybe that was a hint. Because she said the original, it took place in Flagstaff, or they talked about Flagstaff, or at least that's where the streets crossed over. And I was just wondering, she didn't say Arizona, so I'm wondering if it means the capital of Arizona.
Yeah, that could be it. Or Tucson, another big city. We can go with Phoenix.
Okay.
All right, take it away, Jeff.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to take it easy because I think he's on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, with 7 women on his mind. So,
all right, yes, it's Winslow, Arizona. That was a unintentional use of the word capitalized.
Oh, okay.
But yes, that's the lyric, standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona.
You've had some good clues before, so I was just kind of trying to pick up on that.
Number 3, Won't You Be My Neighbor? The upside of staying at home means you may have more opportunities to connect with your neighbors, so long as you stay 6 feet apart. Mr. Rogers had plenty of neighbors to share his feelings with, including 7 original puppets. Name at least 3 of these characters, which are currently on display at the Pittsburgh Children's Museum.
Well, I know how I feel about my neighbors because it seems like they're smoking in the lobby, and I can smell it in my apartment, so I think I'm going to have a word with them. But I think we can lock in with the puppets.
All right, Matt and I are locked in.
Yeah, so we have King Friday and Daniel Tiger. There's one I can picture with like a long nose.
Lady something.
Yeah, the one is kind of a grump, right?
Yeah.
Oscar. Wrong one.
And I keep thinking of Candyland characters. Queen Frostine.
Well, I remember Mr. McFeely, but he's not a puppet.
He's a puppet of the government.
Did you say Mr. Feeney?
Puppet of the federal government.
Did you say Mr. Feeney the puppet?
No.
Mr. Matthews.
McFeely.
Mr. Matthews.
He's the delivery man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right.
He's currently on strike working for Amazon, I think. It's a delivery driver.
All right. Well, I don't think we're going to come up with any more. So, all right. So we're going to lock in with King Friday, Prince Tuesday, and Daniel Tiger.
I think there's definitely a Daniel Tiger King mashup somewhere.
Yeah. Matt and I think we got 4 together.
Yeah. So we said Daniel Tiger, King Friday the 13th, Queen Sarah, and then what's the last one? Grand Pierre, I believe it's pronounced.
Grand Pierre, yeah. That's the other one I had.
But our official answer is Daniel Tiger, Queen Sarah, and King Friday the 13th.
All right. Good job. So that's points to Actuary.
All right.
So the list of 7 that I have here of the original puppets, I think there might have been a son later, but according to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood website, it's King Friday the 13th, Queen Sarah Saturday, Henrietta Pussycat, X the Owl, Lady Elaine Fairchild, Daniel Tiger, and Grand Pierre.
Yeah, it was Lady Elaine. That's who we were thinking of, Jeff.
Get out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next question.
Number 4, Google me this. If you're like me, you spend some amount of your newfound free time in quarantine Googling things that you've always wanted to know. What is a Post Malone, and why do people hate the word moist? Are 2 of my recent searches. Today, I stumbled on a new fun fact about the number pi. If you've ever uttered, "How I wish I could calculate pi," then I found an answer for that too. But first, please write out pi to 6 decimal places.
All right. In that case, Jeff, I think we can lock in together.
Yep, I've got it.
Matt, I have no idea. So I am leaning on your shoulders because I have no idea.
Big shoulders.
Just passed Pi Day last month. Gives you a little clue. I used to know it all the way up to 10, but I'm slacking now. But I believe it's 3.141592 is the first 6. So that's what I locked in with.
Yeah. I think the next one after that is 6, Matt, but we said 3.141592.
It's always got a 1 up, you know?
I think he's right, though.
So points all around. And there was actually a clue in this question. How I wish I could calculate pi is a 7-word phrase. And the number of letters in each word, so how is 3, I is 1. How I wish I could calculate pi gives you it gives you those digits.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is good to know.
Yeah, that was the fun fact I stumbled on while Googling.
That's the perfect mnemonic device.
How I wish I could calculate pi?
Exactly.
Okay. And if you Google a little bit farther, you probably will find a picture of a moist Post Malone, so be careful.
All right. So just a quick note on question 5. I asked my friend Sarah to write a question 5 for this game, and it turns out she did such a great job. It was the perfect question 10.
Oh.
So you have that to look forward to. It just seemed like a good one to sum everything up.
Good tease.
Okay.
So this question 5 is my question. Sports interrupted.
Oh.
Sorry. The current stay-at-home orders have professional sports at a standstill. Even my parents missed their Globetrotters game. Unfortunately, we've seen sports stoppages before as a result of strikes and lockouts. The NHL holds the record for the longest stoppage in days, which lasted for the entirety of the 2004 to 2005 season. Within 10 days, tell me, how long did this lockout last?
I can guess, Jeff, if you want.
I was going to say, Ken, if you want to do the math, because you know how long the season is, so you know basically when it ends and when it would start up again. So,
all right, I'll just make a guess.
Okay.
So they lost the whole season, but they didn't play a shortened season the next year. So it's less than a year. So we're looking at somewhere between 10 and 11 months. So you figure an average of 29 or 30 days per month times like 10 months. So somewhere between like 300 and 315. So logically, I would say 315 would be a good answer. So, because it gets us the 10-day wiggle room or whatever. So I think we can lock in with 315.
Okay, I'm going to say a little lower and say 200 days.
All right. So the strike lasted for 310 days.
Oh, man.
Wow. Good job, Matt. Crazy.
That's a long, long time.
First pie, now hockey stuff. Nice job.
There was method to your madness after all.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like it's nonsense, but it was getting somewhere, I swear.
You gave us just the right amount of Jason Derulo on that question, or as I like to call it, wiggle room.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
All right. Number 6, podcast land. Staying at home all day, every day can be boring. So pop in some earbuds and explore the world of podcasts. Once you've gone through the Triviality catalog, you may still be looking for some content for your ears. Science shows seem to be trending. This podcast will kill you, which is hosted by the Aarons, who are 2 disease ecologists and epidemiologists, has, in my opinion, the best sign-off ever. Since their first episode in 2018, they have ended each show with a nod to a line from a famous movie within a movie by saying, "Wash your hands, you blank."
I think
we could probably lock in, Matt.
I think Ken definitely has this one.
I think so too.
Is this a Home Alone thing? Jeff?
Sorry.
Jeff?
I presume this is a Home Alone thing. Yeah, Filthy Animal. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll say Filthy Animal.
Yeah, as Ken said on one of our Christmas specials about 300 times, I believe it's Filthy Animals.
That is right. And this entire question is a nod to the annual Triviality Christmas episode. I loved how many times he dropped Filthy Animal in the first one, and the other ones, I think you guys squeezed him in there at the very end.
Well, it's a Christmas tradition.
Number 7, let's get crafty. There's no time like quarantine to pick up a new skill or hobby. Why not, KNOT, take up this crafting craze from the 1970s? You can make a groovy geometric wall hanging or spruce up your space with a hanging plant. Name this crafting craze.
Oh, man.
I can see the hanging plant. I understand that reference. I didn't know it had a name.
Okay, I think we're just going to go ahead and guess on this one, so feel free to make your own guess.
Yeah, basket weaving? What?
Oh.
I don't think that's to do with knots.
No, I think she's talking about some people have plants and then there's like an intricate set of knots from the ceiling that come down and they sort of hang sometimes in threes or in the apartment or whatever. I've seen it before in person. I just didn't know it had a name. And it's most certainly not like Don Knotts or I did not murder him or anything like that. Yeah, I have no idea. So I didn't even know they had a name to it.
We'll call it Knots Landing.
Sounds good.
We're locked in.
We're going to go ahead and guess crochet like I do every time it involves yarn.
Okay, so this one, no points here. It's called macrame. So Neil, you described it perfectly. That's what it is. Yeah. And it's just made with a thick twine and you just tie knots and you can make all these different patterns.
So are all the hemplesses that I wore in high school, are those macrame technically?
Possibly. I don't know. My knowledge doesn't really extend much further than the content of that question.
Either way, there's a good deal of shame. So let's move on to the next question.
All right. Number 8. I feel fine. This question takes us on just a little bit of a journey. So I will say just hang in there. For some strange reason, REM's song, It's the End of the World as We Know It, keeps getting stuck in my head. But don't worry, I feel fine. According to Wikipedia, this song originated from a previously unreleased song called PSA, as in Public Service Announcement. PSA was then reworked and released as a single in 2003 under a new name. It happens to share its name with the decade's biggest one-hit wonder, also used as a swan song for American Idol. And I gotta say, it's a step up from The End of the World. Name this song.
Matt and I were joking around that since it was a step up, that Matt said it was the Step by Step by New Kids on the Block, which is a great song.
It's not. So your original guess you said was Had a Bad Day.
Right.
Who's that by? It's Daniel something, right?
Yeah. I just remember I don't know if it was the last song? I used to watch American Idol when it first came out, and I remember watching it in the dorms with all of my friends, the performing arts floor. We'd sit down and one of them would sneak in a bottle of Southern Comfort and make fun of the singers. But it
does sound like something they would play if somebody got like voted off. Because
now it's ironically made fun of, Bad Day, because people use it for satirical things. But I believe when it came out, though, it was like a sincere song. Like when people left, it was You Had a Bad Day. It wasn't like a joke. So
yeah, and it is 2000s. It would be a big one-hit wonder, and I think it makes sense as a reworking of end of the world, because at the end of the world would probably be a bad day. So
right, and she said it's a step up, so it's not as bad as the end of the world. It's just a bad day.
Oh, that makes sense then. So all the clues fit. So we are going to lock in with "You Had a Bad Day."
It's a lot of good reasoning. I don't know that song REM wise, so we just picked an REM song. It said "Man on the Moon."
All right. So the answer is "Bad Day." So Actuary hit on all the clues.
There we go.
I just remember watching Bo Bice and that season, and people would get kicked off, and it would be, "You had a bad day." Again, there it is again.
Yeah.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
I think I remember it mostly now for the NFL ads that they play when your team gets knocked out of the playoffs, and they show the fans crying in the shower.
In the shower?
Pretty. Yeah, it's pretty. It's X-rated.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Number 9. It's the end of the world as we know it, part 2. 2020 has some folks in a post-apocalyptic kind of mood, reaching for entertainment that proves, hey, it could be worse. On most of these much-watch lists for this particular genre is the Mad Max franchise. George Miller's original 1979 film was so low budget that they ran out of money in post-production. He had to work in this place in order to generate enough money to finish the film. I wonder if he got any tips from fellow George, Mr. Clooney, that is.
All right, Jeff, I think I'm picking up on some of the parts of this question here, so let's lock in.
He's a smart guy, George Miller.
Yeah, so I said maybe he worked at a hospital. Maybe he did maybe he was just moving, but one of the body movers or whatever. Because Clooney was on ER, so that would make sense, right?
Yeah, that does make sense. He's really smart though. I don't know if he's a doctor though. That's the thing. I don't think he's a doctorate in anything. But
you don't have to be. Not everyone that works at the hospital is a doctor.
Yeah,
could have been a security guard.
That's true. So you're just saying he's a hospital worker?
I work at the hospital. I'm not a doctor, just play jazz in there,
Yeah.
That's correct.
There's always jazz coming from the white padded room.
It's metaphorical jazz. It's, playing jazz with, surgeries, experimenting.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Regular Dr. House over there. I think it was something temporary just to make enough money to finish the movie. That's the point of it. So he worked somewhere, made enough money, then finished his movie. So, a temp job at the hospital makes sense.
Yep, we're also saying hospital.
All right. Great job picking up on the clue. He actually worked in an emergency room, but hospital will get you the points.
Oh,
he was a trained physician. I found that very interesting. So he had to go back to finish the movie.
Wow. I knew he was smart, but that's cool.
That's awesome.
All right. Last question of regulation, and this is the one from my friend and trivia buddy, Sarah. So thank you to her for this excellent question. Category is Seeing the Light. In the classic novel, The Count of Monte Cristo, the protagonist spends a lot of time in isolation, be it in prison or his deliberate social distance once he re-enters society. At the end of the novel, he reveals that all human wisdom can be summarized in these 2 words. 2 words that 176 years later can offer us some guidance and optimism in our current state of quarantine. What are these 2 words?
We're locked in.
Of course.
Big time.
Of course, it's a Count of Monte Cristo.
I could count on you for this.
Oh, man.
It happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get there. Ken loves this book and this story. I'm trying to think of a literary 2-word term. I mean, is it carpe diem?
Happens is so good, dude. That's so funny.
Yeah. I mean, I was just going to keep saying things that aren't it. So,
I mean, I like it happens. I think it's a great answer, but I
don't think he wrote that in the book.
I don't think Alexandre Dumas, how do you say it, Ken?
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Dumas.
Thank you. Let's just go carpe diem.
The 2 words are hope and wait.
All right. Points to Morgoth. And I thought that was a wonderful ending to the regulation quiz on quarantine. Hope and
a good ending to the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
After regulation, the game is still very tight. We've hardly budged with 6 correct for both of our teams in the second round. Our scores right now before the final are 145 for Morgoth and 147 for, I forgot our team name already, Actuary. So this is going to be pretty crazy here. It's all going to come down to wagers. So what are the categories, Tamara?
So this is obviously the reason we are in quarantine. So our 5 categories are: C is for cookie, O rhymes with Mo, the flying V, there's no I in freedom, and D is my last name, and that's DEE.
All the wagers are locked in. Let's hear those questions, Tamara.
Okay. C is for cookie. How many fingers does Cookie Monster have in total? O rhymes with Mo. This Mo is a humorist, journalist, and actor. Among other roles, he's hosted the Henry Ford's Innovation Nation, My Grandmother's Ravioli, and the National Geographic Bee. The Flying V. In the 1992 Disney movie, The Mighty Ducks, Coach Bombay takes the kids to a real NHL game. Within 5 years, both of the teams in that bout had changed locations and or names. Name the 2 teams that the Mighty Ducks watched play as they were named in 1992. There's no I in freedom. There's no I in freedom. Freedom is not meedom, it's weedom. Is a line from a Selena Meyer speech in the HBO series Veep. Julia Louis-Dreyfus can often be seen standing on a box when giving such speeches. The actor actually got this move from a real-life 4'11" senator from California. Name this senator. And D is my last name. Don't Go Breaking My Heart was a duet that hit #1 for Elton John and this UK singer.
All right, we're going to take a look at these questions, and we will be right back with the answers. All the answers are now locked in, so let's hear those questions one more time, and we'll see how we did.
C is for cookie. How many fingers does Cookie Monster have in total?
Me and Jeff wagered 20 on each question. We thought he had less than the usual amount of fingers, so we went with 3 on each hand for 6 total.
Yeah, we wagered 15, and I thought it might have been between 3 and 4, and we settled on 4 in each hand and said 8.
Okay, so the trick here is that most of the monsters do have 4 fingers on each hand, but Cookie Monster has 5, making the answer 10. I don't know for certain, but my guess is that it's because the puppeteer needs to be able to pick up a cookie and feed it in his mouth. And by feed, I mean just have it crumble all over the place.
Yeah, for sure. That does make a lot of sense. All right.
Okay. O rhymes with Mo. This Mo is a humorist, journalist, and actor. Among other roles, he's hosted the Henry Ford's Innovation Nation, My Grandmother's Ravioli, and the National Geographic Bee.
For another 20 points, it sounded like Jeff knew this one, so I'll leave it to him.
Yeah, I believe this is Mo Rocca. I think that's right.
Yep, Matt clued in on this one. I knew who it was when he said it. I didn't even think about him, but yeah, we said Mo Rocca.
Perhaps he's better known as a correspondent on The Daily Show and a contributor to CBS Sunday Morning. That's Mo Rocca. Hey, the Flying V. Name the 2 teams that the Mighty Ducks watched play as they were named in 1992.
All right. We named a couple defunct teams, and we had to go with the North Deeks and the Whalers.
Ooh. We wagered 30 on this one, and should have went with the Minnesota Miracle Man's home state there. It was the Minnesota North Stars and the Hartford Whalers.
Points to Actuary. The Minnesota North Stars moved to Dallas in 93, and the Hartford Whalers moved to Carolina in 1997 to become the Hurricanes.
I forgot that. I forgot he was from Minnesota.
Okay, there's no I in freedom. There's no I in freedom. Freedom is not meedom, it's weedom, is a line from a Selena Meyer speech in the HBO series Veep. Julia Louis-Dreyfus can often be seen standing on a box when giving such speeches. And the actor actually got this move from a real-life 4'11" senator from California. Name this senator.
All right, so for 20 points here, thought maybe you were being clever throwing box in there. We guessed it was Barbara Boxer, who was a former California senator.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense with the clue there. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I think Dianne Feinstein's from California. That could be completely wrong. I love Veep, but I just don't know the reference. And for 15 points, that's what we went with, Dianne Feinstein.
So Dianne Feinstein and Barbara Boxer were colleagues for many years. They were both senators from California. The answer is Barbara Boxer. And she actually calls it the Boxer Box.
That's funny.
All right, Jeff, let's see if we can close here.
Last one. D is my last name. Don't Go Breaking My Heart was a duet that hit #1 for Elton John and this UK singer.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite Elton John songs. So I know this was Kiki D for 20.
Oof. These scores are going to be very, very close. We wagered 15 on this one, and Neal also knew that this was Kiki D.
Yeah, it's a great song and also one of my favorites, Kiki D.
All right, after tabulating the scores, it looks like Team Morgoth is going to pick up 20 in that final round, and Team Actuary is going to pick up 30. So the final score is going to be 165 for Team Morgoth and 177 for today's cream of the crop, Actuary.
Yeah, no, I'm living in a nightmare, and I am the cream.
No.
What a close.
I take it all back. I definitely can't do what Judi Dench can do.
Morgoth is
the
defeated
flying
again.
V. Your confidence in Mighty Ducks.
It's
got you that win.
It's never the sports thing that I think it is when I wager, and this time it actually was. So it actually worked out. So, thank you, Gordon Bombay. Charlie Conway. All the rest of them.
Goldberg.
Thanks.
Yeah. But great game. Great. It was nicely written. We had a good time, right, guys?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you very
Absolutely.
much. Any shout outs for anyone you'd like to give right now?
Just kind of a general shout out to staying healthy in 2020, physically and mentally. And then, as a note to that, just a wonderful thank you to my family and friends. They've all been wonderful during this time. We're checking in with each other, doing yoga together, and just finding ways to hang out and have fun and stay in touch. And, writing this game and taking on other trivia activities, just, studying and writing other games for friends and family is something that's brought me a lot of joy during quarantine. So I just hope that everybody finds that something that, can give them a good feeling and kind of get them through this.
Well, thank you. We loved the game. We thank you for your support, not only just listening to the show, but also on Patreon, and for wearing a t-shirt there, which is great too. Thank you very, very much for supporting us. If you'd like to join Tamara, you can go to patreon.com/Triviality Podcast. Or if you just want to support the show and be a listener or interact with us, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Triviality Pod. For Jeff and Ken, who are going to be doing a TikTok dance, or at least trying to choreograph one, for Matt and myself, that was Triviality. There's a restaurant here that I know Matt was a huge fan of called Chef Shangri-La, and they've been delivering and doing carryout of one of their drinks called the Dr. Fong, which is a very alcoholic, fruity drink. So I've been seeing people carrying out these large gallon-sized alcoholic drinks.
That would be me if I still lived in the area. I miss Jimmy Fong, who used to make the best Dr. Fongs. He was the keeper of the secret. They would not tell us what was in that fancy orange bottle, but it was delicious, and you could only have one of them because, oh boy, you're having a rough night if any more than that.